All right, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from Street Scores, and it is time to see how all of the expert draft analysis feel about the Washington Commanders 2023 NFL Draft. What grades do we get? We're also going to read what they had to say and the explanations behind their grade and some of their favorite picks that we had, because you'll be surprised. Some people are really high on certain players. Some others are really high on other players. And of course, per usual, are the NFL analysts higher on the Commanders draft than the majority of Commanders fans? That's actually very possible. We have a lot of different places we're going to look towards: Mel Kiper, NFL.com, Pro Football Focus, Washington Post, Walter Football, all of it, man. We're going to get to all of the analysis, but before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell next to the subscription button so you get notification immediately and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Make sure you stay tuned for all of the draft content. I'm working on film sessions for every player that we drafted, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm going to make sure that channel members get the exclusive, like almost hour-long versions of them. The general public will probably get like a quick little 5-minute analysis, so go become a channel member if you haven't. And then, of course, make sure you stay tuned for my personal draft grade and review of the entire draft. We're going to go player by player, give a grade for each one and how they fit on the team, weaknesses and strengths and all of that. And then I'm going to give an overall grade and analysis for the entire draft at the end and everything. And also be on the lookout for a live stream. Once my throat feels like completely back to normal, I'm going to do a live stream where we're going to review the draft together. I'm going to open up the phone lines for y'all to call in and you give your opinions and voice whatever questions you may have, concerns, positives. You give your favorite pick of the draft, your least favorite, all of that type of stuff. So it's going to be a really interactive stream where y'all are a part of the show. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Without further ado, let's get it. All right, so we're going to start from the highest grades and work our way down. And actually, one of the highest graders of the Commanders NFL draft from 2023 is ESPN's Mel Kiper. But you know why he probably gave us a really good grade? Because remember, weeks ago, he mocked us getting Emmanuel Forbes 16th overall. So there's probably a little bit of bias there where, I mean, first of all, of course, he really liked Emmanuel Forbes enough to even put him at 16. But also the fact that he got that right probably made him smile and was like, you know what? Even if it is a C+ to me, I'm going to give it a B just because I'm that guy. I don't know. I mean, I'm just joking around. But yeah, he gave our overall draft a B. He said, so the Commanders really are going into the season with Sam Howell and Jacoby Brissett as their quarterbacks. Huh? They passed on Will Levis and Hendon Hooker with good reason, especially Will Levis. I would have done differently, but at least I liked who they added in round one. I've been calling cornerback Emmanuel Forbes, taking 16th. This draft splendid splinter because of his frame. He's a very thin 6'1", 166 pounds, even though it's reported that he's like 180 now. All he does is make plays, though. He has 6 pick sixes and 14 total interceptions in his college career. He should play early and often in Washington. Commanders went back to the secondary in round 2, picking my 4th-ranked safety, Jartavius Quan Martin, who played a lot as a nickel. They ranked 26th in takeaways last season with 18, so they went all in on needs. They also added 2 interior linemen with their next 2 picks. I thought they reached around for Ricky Stromberg at 97th overall, but the 4-year starter is sound technically. Braden Daniels, 118th overall, is light on his feet but undersized. He's my 7th-ranked guard. The quarterback question likely will linger into 2024, and I'm not sure Washington hit all of his needs outside of the secondary with this class. But again, he still gave us a B, man. I'll take it. NFL.com also gave us a B. They said day 1 with the Emmanuel Forbes pick, a B. Day 2 with the Quan Martin and Ricky Stromberg pick, B. And then day 3, all of the rest of them, they gave us an A-, and overall a B grade. I mean, technically, if you average that out, isn't that technically like a B+? But maybe it was so close to a B that it wasn't good enough, I guess. I don't know. What do I know? And then their analysis was, if the ball finds Forbes in the NFL like it did in college, his lean frame won't be a concern. They eschewed Other needs to bolster the secondary again with nickelback safety Martin, and then grabbed a solid Stromberg a bit earlier than I expected him to go, as centers were quickly coming off the board. And I mean, that's just going to be a general analysis. Ricky Stromberg was a reach, but at the same time, centers started to fly off the board, and the Commanders had to do what they had to do to go ahead and get theirs. And I can believe that the Commanders even may feel a little bit like that, because there was a video that came out that showed that we planned on trading up for KJ Henry before we even took Ricky Stromberg. So, I mean, apparently they like KJ Henry even more than they like Stromberg, but then there was a run on centers, and they were like, we got to get somebody. We at least got to get somebody that we like at center. He may not be one of our favorite centers, but once there was a run, they were like, we got to get somebody before they're all gone. So even though we like KJ Henry more as an edge rusher than we like Ricky Stromberg at center, we got to go ahead and take that center right now, because they're flying off the shelves, and KJ Henry could potentially be there. And when in doubt, they'll just trade up to get him, which they did. This is, again, a lot of inference from me, a lot of guessing, but I mean, apparently it seems very true, and you're going to hear that a lot. Ricky Stromberg was a reach to a lot of people, and that's a good explanation why, because centers were coming off the board left and right. Daniels will excel if he plays guard in the NFL. Henry's combination of strength and agility on the edge made him a good find in the 5th round, and Jones has potential on the outside. The Commanders chose not to select a tight end, but Rodriguez does meet their need for a thumper in the backfield. Again, NFL.com gave us a B, but day 3 wise, they gave us an A- specifically. Then Pro Football Focus, overall grade a B. Day 1, the 26th ranked player on Pro Football Focus's big board, Forbes was elite when it came to playing ball in college. He produced an 87.2 Pro Football Focus grade in 2022 and finished his 3-year career at Mississippi State with 14 interceptions and 17 pass breakups. Day 2, Martin comes off the board, 47th overall to Washington after slotting in at 94th on the Pro Football Focus big board. He can fill a versatile role in the secondary for the Commanders, who clearly placed an emphasis on improving that group in this draft. I mean, obviously with the first 2 picks, he played everywhere from outside corner to slot corner to safety in his 5-year career at Illinois. Stromberg can wind up as a starter anywhere in the interior in the NFL, but this is one of the biggest reaches of the day. Again, a common theme we're going to hear over and over again. He ranks 228th on the Pro Football Focus big board, even though he went 97th. He did great well in college, though. He produced an 83.4 Pro Football Focus run blocking grade and a 77.1 Pro Football Focus pass blocking grade. And y'all got to remember, he allowed 0 sacks in the SEC as a starting center. So I think that's noteworthy. I thought he was a slight reach as well, but it is what it is, man. If you get good players, you just get good players. And again, they were flying off the shelves. You got to do what you got to do. And then they have a huge breakdown of what we did in day 3, but we will be here for another 30 minutes just reading what Pro Football Focus had to say alone. The Washington Post, they gave us a B-. The Commanders certainly looked to address their needs at cornerback and along the offensive line, using their first 4 choices on cornerbacks Emmanuel Forbes, Jartavius, Quan Martin, and then Ricky Stromberg, the center, and then offensive lineman, guard, tackle, whatever you want to call him, Braden Daniels. Taking Forbes over fellow cornerback Christian Gonzalez at 16 was debatable. The Commanders passed up early opportunities to address their quarterback situation. Things had better work out with Sam Howell. That's a good point. We are definitely putting all of our eggs in one basket with Sam Howell for sure. And I feel like we didn't even address offensive line as much as I wanted to, or at the very least as high as I wanted to in the draft to help him out. But it is what it is. Pro Football Network B-. The Commanders didn't necessarily hit any home runs with their draft, but they consistently hit balls into the gap to pick up 2 bags at a time. Pairing Jartavius Martin with Emmanuel Forbes was a solid double up in the secondary, and they did everything they could on day 3 to add depth on the edge, and potentially a starter in KJ Henry if Chase Young or Montez Sweat, one of them or both of them, are not here next year. Hopefully both of them stay, but it's not looking very likely, especially when you go edge rusher twice in the same draft. Even though it was 5th round and 7th round, we didn't go edge rusher twice for no reason. Fox Sports B-. The Commanders took some chances, starting with a 166-pound cornerback in round 1, Emmanuel Forbes, and we ain't got to refer to him as the 166-pound cornerback. Again, it's reported that he's 180 right now, so we got to let that go. And again, like I've already said, if he was 190, we would have had no chance of getting him at 16, because if he's at the right weight, the weight that people would want their corners to normally be at, it's only an argument between him and Devon Witherspoon as the best corners in this draft. Again, the Bryce Young of corners, I'm going to break that down again when I do my overall draft analysis. So we are lucky, just to let y'all know as Commanders fans, that he is supposedly 166 pounds in a lot of people's eyes, because he would never made it to 16. He would have went top 10 easily if he was 180, 190 in everybody's eyes. If he holds up, they definitely boosted their secondary with him in second round safety Quan Martin. Again, I see him as a slot corner. They also got some developmental help on the offensive line with Ricky Stromberg and then Braden Daniels. Every pick felt just a little bit overdrafted though, and not adding a tight end seems like an oversight. And excuse my nails too if y'all end up seeing it in the camera. I was doing some yard work, doing some stuff with some soil and things like that. So excuse my nails. I went straight from there, threw on this shirt, and then just started recording. I apologize. Also, the Associated Press gave us a C+. They said, took Emmanuel Forbes early in an excellent cornerback class, further bolstered secondary with safety Jartavius Martin in the second round. Day 3 running back Chris Rodriguez has upside. Then DraftKings Nation gave us a C+. The Commanders still have a huge question mark at the quarterback position, despite the confidence that the team may exude about second-year signal caller Sam Howell. Forbes' ball skills are good, but his play style fits a nickel corner, and at 166 pounds, there are serious question marks around his ability to last long-term. Stromberg is another offensive lineman whose positional limitation makes him a curious pick for Washington. Then USA Today, they gave us a C. Kind of a quiet draft as owner Dan Snyder quietly heads for a $6 billion door. Ball hawking cornerback Emmanuel Forbes and slot cornerback Jartavius Martin, thank you for calling him a slot corner, are probably immediate starters for a pass defense that ranked 4th last year. Of note, per reports, the team opted not to pick up the 5th-year option of 2020 number 2 overall pick Chase Young, so 5th rounder KJ Henry might need to be ready next year. NBC Sports gave us a C. Emmanuel Forbes has freakish speed and put great play on film at Mississippi State, but taking him before Christian Gonzalez was more than surprising. Forbes is also 30 pounds lighter than Gonzalez, possibly pigeonholing him into a slot role at the next level. I disagree, but we'll see. Forbes aside, I did like the addition of KJ Henry, a former 5-star recruit. Henry turned things up a notch in his final season with a strong pass rush grade from Pro Football Focus on the back of 53 pressures, which led the Clemson D-line more than Myles Murphy and Bryan. They didn't say that, but I'm telling you that. He's a project, but not a bad bet in the 5th round. I completely agree. That's probably why we got a C. I feel like NBC Sports feels like we probably deserved an F, and then we saved our draft with KJ Henry being still. I'm telling y'all, don't sleep on KJ Henry. I was talking about it yesterday, last night when I did my KJ Henry entire breakdown, weaknesses and strengths, how he fits on the team and projection, all of that type of stuff, and his comp. Go check that out if you haven't yet. The Ringer with a C grade. The Commanders are in a weird spot right now in transition from one owner to the next and without a clear-cut starter at quarterback. So it's probably no surprise that the team's draft felt a little bit rudderless too. In the first round, Washington took a playmaker corner in Mississippi State's Emmanuel Forbes, who brings takeaway creative instincts, but an outlier lack of bulk. He's just 166 pounds. I'm a fan of second rounder Jartavius Quan Martin, who has the versatility to play both the safety and nickel back spots. And third rounder center Ricky Stromberg could develop into a future starter. But overall, this is a pretty underwhelming haul for a team stuck in organizational limbo. Then the scorer also gave us a C. The majority of the grades a C. I'm just going to let you know that now. Washington had major needs in the secondary and on the interior offensive line heading into the draft. While the value of the selections made could certainly be critiqued, the focus was clear. Forbes is an instinctive player who, despite some concerns about his size, brings some much-needed playmaking ability to the secondary. Martin should join him as a starter before long, and both Stromberg and Daniels will have the opportunity to see the field early in their rookie seasons. Overall, the Commanders took care of the spots that needed to be addressed. There's a lot to like, which is interesting if you're going to give us a C, but maybe they just gave low grades to everybody. Maybe nobody earned an A, because they sounded more positive than some of the people that gave us Bs, and they gave us a flat-out C. Wow. But New York Post gave us a C. They said 166-pound cornerback. We're going to hear that over and over again. It's a durability risk. We're going to hear that as well. Even if Forbes is a rare ball hawk with 6 career pick sixes, especially when drafted over consensus, highly regarded cornerback Christian Gonzalez. One Big Ten coach said Martin could be the steal of the draft. Stromberg is a potential starter. Now, those last two sentences, yeah, I'm with that. But All that other stuff, man, I'm blocking it out. Established the run gave us a C minus. Sporting News gave us a D. They said the Commanders did okay filling their defensive needs, but notably absent was linebacker, tight end, and developmental quarterback. They also reached for Forbes and Martin early and didn't get good value in either Stromberg or Daniels. They remain in the by far worst team in the otherwise loaded NFC East. I disagree with everything they said, but it is what it is, man. And then Fantasy Pros gave us a D as well, and they have a huge breakdown that would almost take an entire video to discuss, but I'm just gonna let you know that they gave us a D. And I mean, I guess I could read the last little part. The Commanders addressed their needs during the draft, but I couldn't disagree more with the players that they came away with. As a result, they earned my lowest draft grade among all 32 teams. So Fantasy Pro not rocking with us one single bit, but it's okay though. It's okay though. We'll get up with y'all later. Y'all will see. It's just all we got to do is go out there on the field and prove it, man. But the Commanders Wire, shouts out to them. Brian Manning over there graded every Commanders selection. So we're going to go through a few websites and analysts, just, their grades for each pick. We're not going to read descriptions because that would be forever. We got an A- for Emmanuel Forbes. We got a B+ for Quan Martin. We got a B for Ricky Stromberg. They gave us a B- for Braden Daniels. They gave us a B+ for KJ Henry. They gave us a B- for Chris Rodriguez. And then they gave us a B- for Louisiana linebacker Andre Jones. And then Walter Football, even though he's working on giving us an overall grade. Oh, it finally came out. I just refreshed and it's there. Right before I started recording this video, the furthest he got was to the Jets 15th overall in the draft. He goes in order of when every team picked first. And so it was right there before us. I was like, man, I hope by the time I'm done recording this video, I'll get close to it. He will officially have a grade for us, and he does. So let's go ahead and read it now. And then he also has individual grades for each player, so we'll look at that as well. But he gave us a B grade overall. He said goals entering the 2023 NFL draft. The Redskins seem set on giving slinging Sam Howell a chance to be quarterback for the team next year. They'll need to give him better protection, but the greater priority is finally addressing the secondary and linebacker corps, which have been huge areas of need for many years. And then he said 2023 NFL draft accomplishments and why he gave us a B grade. And he refuses to call us any name but the Redskins. So the Redskins have dealt with major problems in their secondary for quite some time. So they wanted to resolve those issues because they didn't stand a chance against the Eagles and their dual dynamic receivers. Washington consequently spent its first 2 picks on defensive backs. Emmanuel Forbes is a ball hawking cornerback, while Quan Martin is a versatile player capable of starting at safety or nickel corner. Both were solid selections. Some energy was spent on upgrading the offensive line after that, as the next 2 selections were used on blockers. Ricky Stromberg was a reach in the 3rd round. Again, I was warning y'all that's going to be a common theme because I can't even necessarily argue back against that. I can argue about some negative parts that people bring up about our draft, but Ricky Stromberg being a reach, man, I don't have much to push back on that. But the Redskins got back on track with Braden Daniels in the 4th. Daniels will likely move to guard in the NFL so he can fill a need in the interior of their offensive line. Washington had a solid draft overall, but 2 of his picks scored in the B+ to B- range. There were no grades above B+, but the Redskins did well outside of the Stromberg pick, filling needs with quality prospects. So now let's look at the actual individual grades. Emmanuel Forbes, he gave us a B grade just flat out. Quan Martin gave us a B+. Ricky Stromberg gave us a D. Braden Daniels gave us a B. KJ Henry gave us a B+. Again, a lot of people are going to be really high on KJ Henry. I am very high on him as well, man. And then Chris Rodriguez has a B- grade, and then Andre Jones has a C+. So like he said, everything is between B- to B+, except for Ricky Stromberg with a D, who a lot of people feel like is our worst pick of the draft, probably by far. And then Andre Jones in the 7th round. I mean, it's really hard to critique a 7th round pick too much, but I can see why they probably gave us a C+ for that. To me, he's basically like a Shaka Toney replacement, but I'm really gonna dive into all of that when I do my draft grade review and everything. I still got to do my individual video for Brandon Daniels, but I just had to take a break, man, because I was knocking out so many videos and my throat was killing me, and it's still kind of killing me, but at least because I was able to sleep for a few hours, and I didn't even catch up on the sleep that I lost from streaming all night and then having to wake up early like I have been the past few days, but I was able to get some sleep let my throat rest a little bit, and then I'm gonna get to that Braden Daniels video. I have so much content that I gotta come out with, not even just draft grades, and it's just all kinds of stuff, man. I gotta do an overall breakdown, like I already talked about earlier, the entire draft, each player, and then my overall grade for everything and analysis. And man, that video is probably gonna be like 30 minutes to an hour, so man, make sure y'all stay tuned for that as well. I have so much stuff coming out, man. I might come out with like 4 or 5 more videos today. I'm not playing with y'all. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section, let me know about everything discussed in this video. Please leave a like in this video if you liked it, if you learned anything. Shouts out to all of my sponsors, especially my Pro Bowl sponsors, whose name you see scrolling on the screen right now. Y'all went crazy with the donations during the stream. I hope y'all continue to go crazy, because I'm trying to get a really good camera that really improves the quality of these videos. I know when I went on vacation to North Carolina and I was recording with the iPhone, a lot of y'all said y'all like that better because the camera was so much better. So now I'm like, I just got to upgrade the camera for when I'm at home with the green screen and everything as well. So we're going to get to that. Appreciate all of the help for that. And of course, let me know how you feel about all of the expert opinions. Well, expert with quotations around it, opinions and analysis on the Commanders draft from around the NFL and everywhere in the media. Let me know how you feel about all of that. And without further ado, I'm gonna catch y'all later with some more videos. I'm out.